So this is Heka, Magic and Medicine, video number 2, which is all about Hu. He is a creator god. Hu is the god of utterance, the god of the spoken word. Think about it. Where did the name human come from? Hu, breathing life into breathing. He breathed the divinity into the human, breathing life into being. That's what his job is, right? Human. Hu, divinity, breathing life into the physical. Man, human, you know? Who would have thought? So anyway, Hu is a very, very powerful creator god of Egypt. And this stage, because we've done Sia, which is the god of perception, then we land into Hu, which is where you're coming into land with your idea. So you've got your idea, you've got your intention. Now you come into this second phase. And this is one of the most important phases out of all three of them, right? Because this is where it usually gets a bit stuck, because this is where you're being required or called to now land into a physical template. So you've now got to bring this seer vision, which is very sort of divine feminine, because it's the idea, it's creation, it's, you know, it's the whole thing. It needs a template to land into. So now let's face it, we've all been terrified about coming into the physical, right? None of us have really fully been embodied yet, but now in this critical timeline, we're all being called into the physical like no other time, right? Even a video I did the other day, which was about this latest ascension energy we've been experiencing. We're being pulled into the physical now. It's time to manifest, which is why the Heka codes is so on point, being shared now in this timeline because of this. So this is why I'm bigging up Hu here, because he is the one that is the spoken word. So you have the idea. How does the spoken word come in? Well, you could start journaling your idea. That could be quite a good example of the bridge, because when you start journaling an idea, you start giving it life on paper. Okay, when you start speaking about an idea, saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do, I'm really excited about this project, you start giving it life. And that's already, the alchemy is already starting to run. Already you're bringing energy in, because you're like, yeah, I want to do this, you know. Now going a step further, though, if you've got an idea, you know, you need to land your business into, or your creation, or even doing up a house, or having a family, or whatever it might be, what divine masculine template do you need to support you in that? Like, well, if you're going to be bringing a business in, maybe you need a website. That's something you need to land into. Maybe you need a business account. Maybe you need a YouTube channel. You see what I'm saying? So, like with me, with the Tablets of Light tour to Egypt, I didn't just sit on that and just boom, it came out. That was a long time in the making. Since about 2014, 2015, I really got busy with it. And what are we in 2023 now? And, you know, I took my time in coming into this Heka. I kind of like really expanded into the process. But so I had the idea that I was to take people to Egypt and work in the temples and do it in a certain way, essentially work with Heka in the temples. This is very my unique soul design, my unique agreement with spirit. It's my soul agreement. So that was the idea. I got right on that. So then what did I do? Well, I had to go and like speak to my friend Waleed and say, hey, I want to hold tours. You know, can I work with you? And he was like, absolutely. Then I had to get out there a lot more, and I had to get a website to tell people about what it was that I was doing. I also had to do my own energy work on my being so I could be strong enough to hold the energies of Egypt. So that's also something that could be classed as the Heka, or preparations in me being able to hold this powerful energy of Egypt and take others, right? So it can show itself, the physical landing can show itself in many, many different ways. Now, the reason Hu is also very powerful, because when you're in this second session of the Heka codes, Hu will show you in no uncertain terms where the issue lies. If you feel scared to land, you may not even be aware of it, okay? So Hu will come in and he will say, right, okay, well, you've got a past life thing going on here, that last time you shone your light, oh my God, you got so scared and you don't want to land, you know? Or it may be just fearful that you sat there and watched your own father, like, you know, lose businesses over and over again. All of this stuff is going to give you, you know, a lot of anxiety in coming out and sharing, because it all comes from fear. That's all got to be cleared with. If we're going to birth business beings of light, if we're going to birth sacred architecture and, you know, and sacred temples, sacred structures, right? We have to be really clean if it's going to birth through us. I mean, like, imagine, like, you know, if I was like fully, you know, alcoholic and, you know, hooked on drugs, and I try and have a baby and birth my child through that, the baby's going to come out quite unwell. Is it going to have a long life? I mean, I don't know. I hope so, but they're going to be born sick. You know what I'm saying? It's like probably not the best way to share, but that really lands home what exactly I'm talking about and how important it is for you to understand how Heka works, so you can have a very high vibrational manifesting experience and birth something that is so high vibe that it just goes on to create on its own. And that is how it should work. When you actually are really tapping into the manifestation formula, what will actually happen is that creation will then take on a life of its own, and it will just start breathing and vibrating. And that's how alchemy is supposed to work. You're not supposed to create something and grind it every single day and it's got to go on for years in that manner. That's the old way. Alchemy, high vibes coming through you because you're high vibes and you're working with your Heka. Whatever comes through Heka is of the highest vibration because it comes from the oneness frequency. So with the hue section, the hue as a part of the process. Now, this is, like I say, where you got to think big, right? If any of this could actually go a little bit wonky for whatever reason, most of the time it's because you're not thinking big enough, right? So that's also a thing. It's never that you're destined to fail. It's just that, like, hey, you know what I mean? Your platform wasn't big enough to hold, like, you know, all this power and energy that you have to share with the world. Like, for example, when I was here, I was actually running a business. I was an exercise specialist and I ran it from my home. And at the time, that was quite a big damn deal. I had a gym there. I turned my whole house into a gym, healing, the whole lot. And then that only lasted so long. And then I became really energy sick and I was like, I can't do this. And then I ended up moving to Cape Town to just move to Cape Town. That was the guidance. But what that did is it plugged me into the rest of the world. And then I was able to create a bigger platform. The vision changed. And that's how the Tablets of Light was born. I didn't leave Zimbabwe to live in Cape Town knowing any of this. It just, as I moved and I created my platform in a bigger way, the idea was able to land. You know what I mean? You can't move into a 1-bedroom apartment with a wife and 2 kids. It's not going to work. Do you know what I'm saying? So that is, the process will blow your mind and your heart as it unfolds, because that's what alchemy does. There's so much that you don't have to worry about. It all comes out in the wash, and that's what Hue will show you, where the blockages are when you're coming into land. And if you are not thinking big enough, whatever, it is so amazing how crystal clear these creator gods make it for you. So this is Hue. Okay, so Hue man. Hue man. Breathing life into being. Powerful divine creation that you are. So now on that, if you want to join my circle community, I'm going to put the link in the write-up, because on there is actually a mini masterclass, okay? No cost. You can go on there and just feel it out. And it is the Heka Codes Master or Mini Masterclass. And on there, that if you go through the process of that, it's got a meditation on there as well. It will give you the feeling of what I'm talking about. You always got to feel it in your body. And also as well, there's lives on there. And coming up, I am going to be doing a live call on mental alchemy, on how to work with your Heka. And right now in this timeline, it's go time. This is exactly what you need. And then if you feel called to, because the most ultimate offering and to be received of Heka is a Tablets of Light tour. I mean, like, that's just a no-brainer. That's a microphone drop. It's done. It's done. There's nothing else to know. Anyway, love and light, y'all. I'll see you in the next video.